Good morning. It is exactly 6 o'clock on Friday the 6th of March. The news comes from Andrew Radd.
Good morning. A Malaysian woman who now lives in Northamptonshire and campaigns for independence for her home region of the country will lead a peaceful protest tomorrow outside the Malaysian High Commission in London. Doris Jones has promoted independence for part of Borneo for the past 5 years, having left Malaysia 2 decades ago. The government there says her campaign is illegal and she's currently wanted under the country's Sedition Act.
And it's 20 to 9 right now, and let's see the story about this woman from Malaysia. She lives in Northamptonshire and she'll lead a protest tomorrow outside of the Malaysian High Commission in London against what she says is the Malaysian government's repression of human rights and free speech in her home region, part of Borneo. Doris Jones has lived in Northampton for 20 years. She's led the campaign on behalf of some people in Sabah and Sarawak for the past 5 years. Malaysian news websites report that she's wanted on charges of sedition, inciting people to rebel against the authority of the state. She says she'll be arrested if she returns to her home country, and her supporters are regularly threatened or intimidated by the authorities. So how hard is it to run a human rights campaign from the other side of the world? And is Doris fearful for her own safety? Our reporter Tom Percival has been speaking to her.
I realised since I was 10 years old, there's something not right. You are not allowed to say anything of the wrongdoing that you have seen. Racism, discrimination. There is no more democracy by Malaysian government.
Just explain to people that are hearing this the nature of the charges that you're facing from the Malaysian government, what you would be charged with if you were to return to Malaysia.
Let's say I'm today in Malaysia. I will be dragged by the police officer to the court, imprisonment without charge. That's normally happen. And they will put you into the circle of the act called Seditious Act 1948. They also a torture right up till they can die in the prison. We're not allowed to practice a freedom of speech, freedom of expression, or freedom of association. If you do so, then you will go under Seditious Act.
When did you become aware that the government was taking notice of you and was looking to arrest you?
Since September 2014, that's where I realised all the news came out. But recently it's the ones that really hideous, which is using Interpol and referring to Prime Minister in the United Kingdom.
And so you believe that the Malaysian government, through news agencies that it largely controls, is using Interpol's name to try to intimidate you or scare others, but using it without Interpol's permission, using it falsely.
It's falsely using Interpol to harass, to intimidate us, so then we can stop our movement. It is a big question to us why Federation of Malaysia do not want to let Sabah and Sarawak go from the list of federation, because we're entitled to stand on our own feet. If Federation of Malaysia do not grant us, do we stay in a pain or we leave?
Now you have friends and family still living in these communities. How have they been treated by the government since you've started this campaign?
They've repeatedly come to the family house. Our mobile phone been taken, all the data of the personnel taken into authority as suspected crime. So until my parents, brothers and sisters cannot contact me at all. So they deprive the family, between me and the family.
Are you afraid of what your actions and what your campaign may mean for them long term in terms of their safety? Is that something that concerns you?
They can do whatever they want to do. Not say I don't love my family, but what else can I do? I mean, it's their way of system just to harass the family. But I'm not stopping this campaign just because of their intimidation. I mean, why should I?
How many people do you have working with you?
All over Sabah, it's maybe around 200 to 300 voluntarily moving. only the 14 have been arrested, unnecessary arrest. I can't see why it's seditious, because the first arrest is only bringing a paper and pen. I go around the public. If they want to sign, they can sign. They don't, they don't. The second arrest, the volunteers do not bring any petition paper at all. Teammate stop in the petrol station, and the police just handcuff and take away from the police station, go to prison and remand for 4 days. And 5 of them have to remanded for 4 days. The goal of this campaign is Sabah need to be Sabah alone, stand as one country. For example, as Brunei, Singapore.
Doris Jones from Northampton then. Well, BBC Radio Northampton has spoken to Interpol. They told us in a statement that they've never received any requests from the Malaysian government over the case of Doris Jones. We asked the Malaysian High Commission about this, but we've had no response. We also asked the Foreign Office if they were aware of the case. They told us that anyone in the UK who feels they're being threatened in any way should contact the police. The UK is committed to the freedom of speech and defends the right of individuals to express their views without the threat of intimidation or harassment. We, along with our EU partners, continue to urge the Malaysian government to pursue laws and practices that foster tolerance and mutual respect for all Malaysian people. Well, Doris Jones says that she will lead this peaceful protest on behalf of the people of Sabah and Sarawak outside of the Malaysian High Commission tomorrow afternoon.
BBC Radio Northampton.